Greetings. Welcome everyone to JCBIY Talk Show. I am your host, Jordina, founder of Chosen Career Consultants. I am here with my lovely co-hosts.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm happy to be here.
Yes, we are JCBIY Talk Show. So that I have to tell you, I have people all the time ask me what JCBIY stands for.
Right.
So before we start talking about our topic today, I wanted to take a moment to just really kind of break down for everyone what we do on each and every talk show. So for those of you who don't know, JCBIY stands for John Carr Believe in You. And so we bring on guests, we talk about topics that affect our community, that affect women, men, children. We are living in this year of 2020 where there is just so much racial, economic, social, moral, spiritual, social, injustices and dilemmas that we're all faced with. And what this talk show does is brings you individuals that are believing in themselves in the hopes to inspire everyone who watches to believe in themselves. So I'm super excited about this. So today's topic is as a result of this woman here sitting next to me. So off camera, we were having conversation about relationships. So I'm super excited. You have a single woman sitting here. You have a married woman sitting here. So you guys are going to get the perspective of both of us today. And so listen, have you watched on social media where they have all these hashtag relationship goals and they hashtag Black love and hashtags all these things?
Yes, I have.
So one of the things that as a single woman, when I see these hashtags and relationship goals, it for the longest time would make you go, oh, that's cute. I want that, or I want this. And it changed my whole world. I read this book this summer by Pastor Michael Todd out of Oklahoma, and it's called Relationship Goals. But it's all about the conversation that you and I were having about what are you seeking in relationships? What are you willing to put up with in relationships? And so I think that's different for single people. I think it's different for married people. I think it's different for us in a pandemic than it was prior to the pandemic. So one of the things that you said that I thought was really important for married people to hear, you expressed that desire, like, I'm gonna honor my marriage vows, right? And so
because the conversation that we had off camera basically was about your tolerances for different things and what you expect out of your marriage and stuff like that, and
what you expect and what you're going to expect and accept. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And what I expressed to you was, although I am in love with my husband today, I would have waited to marry him. And I don't have any regrets from marrying him.
Right.
But I think that I didn't have my alignments in line.
Okay.
I think that I got married before I got me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then now that I have me, expecting him to deal with somebody different than who he married.
Right. It's like, well, you ain't the same person now.
Right. And so, we work through those things too, because like I said, I married my husband for, sickness and health until death do us part. So,
and you're going to honor those vows.
We're honoring our vows, but it's work. And it's it can become a challenge if we're not both, heading for the same direction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so sometimes those directions veer off, that causes the pain and the misunderstandings and things like that. So, for me, I just, I would like to tell anybody that is interested in dating and looking forward to marriage and stuff like that is to get you together first.
So how long have you guys been married?
We've been married for going on 3 years now.
Okay. And then how long did you date before you got married?
We dated for 2 years.
Okay. Well,
yes.
That's Okay. Well, now we need to have a separate conversation
We dated for
because
2 years, yes.
I'm at an age now. Let's be clear.
Mhm.
I'm at an age where I don't want to be dating longer than 2 years before marriage, and mainly because for me, like I said, I'm at an age, well, especially, and then I'm dating grown people who are also at a certain age, and so when you do that, it's one of those things that you genuinely want to make sure that you find people that are in alignment with who you are. Like, and I just don't believe at this point it's going to take 2 years for me to figure that out.
Well, I was married before.
Okay.
So my husband from our first marriage passed away.
Okay.
So I didn't see even marriage ever again being a possibility.
Okay.
So that, you know what I mean, changed.
And then husband came along. Yeah. And you said, okay.
Yes. So that changed. You know, that changed, of course, when, you know, I've been knowing my husband that I'm married to now for over 25 years.
Oh, wow.
And he was married at the time that I was married. So, you know, it was, you know, timing.
Right. Timing.
So,
yeah.
You know, and so for those 2 years that we did date, you know what I mean? It was just refreshing each other on who we were.
Yeah.
And what we were looking forward to, because he knew that at that, well, I expressed to him that at this point in my life, just having lost a husband, you know, it was like 4 years since I had lost my husband when I started dating him. I'm not putting up with no bullshit.
No foolishness.
No bullshit.
Okay.
But I didn't know what bullshit that I would put up with, though.
But this is what I think is funny about that conversation, right? Is that you had been married before.
I had been married before.
So how did you not know what you was going to put up with?
Well, everybody's different. And everybody comes with
bullshit. Which is true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
Everybody's different.
See, but I think for me, like, there's non-negotiables, right? Like in terms of values. I mean, I think that there's things like listen, as women, it drives men crazy. My nightstand has 35 bottles on it. I've got moisturizers for my face, my legs, my arms. I've got you know what I mean? Like, you've got makeup removers, you've got nail polish, like, you know, we just have a bunch of stuff. And I know that drives men crazy. And then, you know, I've dated men who just have tools after tools or want to spend hours at Home Depot. And although those things are annoying and not how I necessarily want to spend my life, it doesn't mean that those are non-negotiable.
Right.
And I think for me, what I got confused as a single person, I got confused about what was compromise, because I kept hearing, you know, relationships require compromise and good relationships require compromise, and you have to be flexible. And so I was compromising, and what I didn't realize was that I was compromising on things that I shouldn't have been. They were values. You know what I mean? Like, I can compromise on the fact that I want to drink champagne every day and eat out and drink lobster, eat lobster. But I can compromise on the fact that, you know what I mean, that we are not going to do that every day. Right. But I can't compromise on the fact that you have to believe in the same Lord and Christ that I believe in. Right. You know what I mean? So I think those are the things that become important, is understanding what you're going to compromise on and what are hard values that you can't compromise on.
See, for me, you know, the standard for me was already set.
Okay.
So after that standard was set and you get used to one thing, then sometimes you can be in comparison, you know what I mean, of what you have now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And although I love both of them, it's different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, you know, it's just a lot of things that we have to learn really about ourselves, because, you know, although we want our mates to have a certain standard or come a certain way, you know what I mean? Like you was expressing to me earlier that, you know, you was talking about you was ready, you know what I mean, to get married, but you wasn't even like,
I wasn't ready to be somebody's wife.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So
I wanted to be married, but I wasn't ready to be somebody's. I wasn't wife yet.
Right.
I wasn't at that status yet.
Yeah. And so we have to, you know, just, you know, be ourselves also.
Yeah.
But we have to be ready for things that I was listening to my pastor talk one time, and he was saying everybody wants to be rich, and he, was going around the room, and he was saying, if $1 million fell in your hand right now, you would not be ready for that. You would probably kill yourself. You know what I mean? So we have to be ready and prepared for the things that we are asking for.
Okay, so this is where we start this conversation then, because this is the problem, right? There's a level of self-awareness that we talk about in everything. I mean, we have had topics about career, we have had topics about, starting businesses, we've had topics about menopause, and all of it starts with self-awareness, right? It starts with you knowing yourself enough and being aware enough to say, okay, here's who I am. This is what I'm carrying. This is what I bring. This is what's okay for me. And what I'm realizing is that if you don't have a level of self-awareness, you can't really be present in relationships or with someone else. And I saw a quote this week. Somebody had posted on Facebook. It was it was almost like she was saying, I want to step out of my body and see myself through the eyes of other people. Like if you could actually, come out of yourself and see yourself through the eyes of other people, what do other people see? And so this gentleman that I had been dating this summer was really good for me in the sense that he would get me out of my comfort zone. Like he made a statement. He said, why is it so hard for you to say what you need? And I thought, well, I don't have a problem saying what I need. I think all the time I'm saying what I need. And the reality is that I wasn't being clear about what I needed or what was important to me. And so it's funny that if you don't have that level of self-awareness, or in your case, the good thing about being married is that you do have your spouse that you can see yourself through their eyes. And then it becomes, okay, so there's some reality to this. I maybe need to reevaluate myself too. And I think that level of self-awareness is just important.
Yeah, it's very important. And it's critical, because if you don't have that self-awareness, then what it becomes is beating other people up. You know what I mean? For things that you're looking in the mirror, seeing that's wrong with you. You know what I mean? And instead of fixing those things to, make things better, I just think relationships are so tricky though. My first marriage, I was married for years, and it went one way, this one goes another, you know what I mean? And so you would have never told me in a million years though that I would be married, not even once. You know what I mean? And then God found it so that I could find love again, but finding love was the easy thing in my mind. Now. Finding love, because I'm a lovable person. We're born and doing in love.
Yeah.
But finding somebody that I don't want to, finding somebody that cares for you enough that even though y'all weren't together, didn't have it together when you got together, it was willing to fix it together. That's different. You know what I mean? To me.
Well, there's a building, right? Because here's the thing. Because we talked about this earlier, right? Like, I'm not the same person that I was at age 19 that I am now at 45. And so I happen to be dating someone who I dated at age 19. Well, I'm not the same human being that I was at age 19 that I am now at age 45, right? And so I think that there's growth. And for me, what I'm looking for as a single person is someone that we can grow together. Like there's that we're secure enough in ourselves that it's okay but we have the ability to be able to grow together. And I feel like what happens is, at least for me, I was putting my growth on hold.
You were outgrowing them.
Well, no, I was putting my growth on hold, not even outgrowing. I was putting it on complete
Mm-hmm.
hold because I wanted to focus on finding love or
Right.
finding this relationship.
Right.
And I had to get my stuff in
Right.
order. And that's what
Right.
we were talking about.
Right.
I got my M's in order.
Mm-hmm.
I had to spend time and know who my master was.
Mm-hmm.
I had to find my mission and my
Mm-hmm.
purpose and the things that I wanted to do in life.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can find a mate that aligns with that I can grow with, because I was good at falling in love with potential.
Right.
Like I would see somebody
Yes.
and I'd be like, oh, he could
Whew.
be this. Instead of just falling in love with him for who he is now
Yes.
and saying, okay, maybe we
Yes.
can grow together.
Yes.
I was falling in love with the potential.
Yes.
And then when the potential wasn't there or he didn't live up to the potential,
Right.
then I was mad. But that
Yes.
wasn't his fault. That was my fault.
Right.
That's my self-awareness.
Right.
That was my fault.
Yeah.
I was falling in love with potential.
And then it goes into women as nurturers by nature.
Right.
You know what I mean? We want to fix everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes we have to just really see and understand that when somebody show you who they are,
Believe them.
believe them,
Believe them.
believe them.
Believe them.
And then on another note, I have a girlfriend that she suffers with mental health. Her whole family had mental problems and stuff like that. So right now she's working on herself, but she's been in a relationship. The guy who was just a codependent, he was an enabler for her to be able to do her crazy things and stuff like that. So now he's making her responsible for her own
for her stuff. Yeah.
And she don't understand it. So I try to tell her,
he's working on him.
Once you get yourself together, he might not even be the man that you like.
Right.
But because you are so dependent and addicted to this, you can't see that. Once you get yourself together, you know what I'm saying, and then try to go into this relationship healthy, then it may be a healthy relationship.
So
but right now, he's trying to work on himself now.
And I'm not mad. I wouldn't be mad at it. She should want that.
She's learning to adapt to it.
To that.
Now. She's learning to adapt to it now. She don't like it because he's been such a big sponsor of her bull crap for so long. Now she has to do her own bull crap on her own, or don't do it at all, and try to fix herself up. That,
See,
and I know he loves her. Excuse me.
No,
I know he loves her. He loves her unconditionally, but he's just at the point now where he's trying to work on.
He's trying to work, because here's what happens, and this was where I really wanted our conversation to go. We are talking about topics and conversations that affect people within our community, right? And if we are trying to advance our community from a racial, economic, social, all of that level, right?
Yeah.
Then are you tying yourself to someone who's holding you back from delivering on what your mission is? Right. And so I believe that we all have been made with amazing talents and gifts, and that those things are not meant to be kept to just yourself, that we are supposed to share those, and we're supposed to have an impact on people and all of that. And to me, the issue isn't necessarily what are you willing to accept or what are you expecting. It's, is what you're willing to accept and expecting stopping you from progressing forward? You know what I mean? Are you so like, and that was that, I'm using that codependent situation, right? Yeah. There's two people who aren't able to move forward because they're being codependent on one another. Whereas if they work on themselves and start to grow, they may be able to come back together in a better and a healthy way. So to me, what am I willing to accept and expect? What am I willing to accept? I don't think you can put just one thing on it. What I'm not willing to accept is someone that hinders me from delivering on what my God-given gift is and what my God-given mission is at this point. That's what you asked the question, sis. That's my answer. What I will not accept is someone who's going to hold me back or hinder me from being able to do that at this point in my life. And before, girl, let me tell you, I done copyrighted more businesses. with my ex, he wanted to start a like a rental property. So I went and got licensed to sell real estate. Well, he never followed through in the LLC. I have invested in more people, more men. And by investing in myself, what I have found is that I'm attracting different men.
Say it out loud.
I'm attracting different men because I have invested in myself.
You better go ahead.
Instead of just investing in them and and falling in love with potential.
And see, here in the past year, I agree. I invested in my relationships and I lost myself.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I lost myself because different people have different goals for what they want for themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? After I was married the first time and he passed away or whatever, my goals became different for me because I was fine with I went to school, I worked from home and stuff like that. I was fine with all that, you know what I mean? You know, 'cause I'm a wonderful homemaker or whatever, but just in the last, year or so, my myself is feeling differently. I said to myself, I'm gonna finally settle down at my age. You know what I mean?
You kill me with that.
How does somebody my age act?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I don't feel my age and I don't wanna, be stuck in a category that just because I'm my age, I'm supposed to, or just because I'm married, I'm not supposed to want more for myself.
Right. I understand.
You know what I'm saying? And so, wanting more for yourself sometimes can be scary for your spouse. It definitely can be scary for your spouse. And I don't think that they uh, really initially realize that, you know what I mean? It causes some rifts in the relationship, but it does because change is scary all by itself. Change can be scary for people that are set in their ways.
Beyond.
You know what I'm saying? So change can be scary, you know what I mean, all by itself. So, being in relationships is just, we all have to really just, like you said, become more self-aware of the things that, we put out into the atmosphere, and the things that, we want for ourselves.
Yeah.
So that, when we don't achieve those things, because I know a lot of people, they blame other people for
don't get me started. You're gonna make me go back now.
Yes,
here. That's
they blame other people for their lack of achievements and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't do this because I had to raise my kids and ain't nobody tell you to get
pregnant. You made decisions, choices.
You know what I'm saying?
We all have decisions and choices.
We have to be accountable for ourselves.
Yeah.
And moving forward. That's about all I have to say on this topic.
But I think I like how she just gonna drop the mic. She's done. She's like, I done drop, bam, done.
I love you.
She's like, I done dropped the mic. No, but listen, I think here's the piece. Whether you are in a relationship, whether you are single, whether you are married, I think there comes an importance of how you communicate to people, right? And so I don't think that there's anything wrong with having wants or wanting to grow, or but I think it becomes important in relationships that you share that with each other. You know what I mean? And so what you may find is that within that list of your wants and in that list of his wants, that there's commonalities. And those commonalities are where you can start, and then that helps you both grow, kind of moving forward. And so I genuinely believe that I am at a place where I'm gonna work on me.
Yeah.
And that way, that level of self-awareness allows me to be the best person that I can be. Relationships are important. We are not designed or meant to be alone. Right. We are not designed or created to live alone. And so how you choose to act in your relationships matter. Yep. And so that was what we wanted to talk about today, just to inspire you to spark conversation with your loved ones.
Yes.
Whether you are single or whether you are married, just know that you can continue to grow even and thrive in the midst of a pandemic.
And it's hard.
In the midst
I'm
of
married
a pandemic.
and I have somebody here with me on a constant basis, and it's still so sad and, you know, hard to be away from loved
The
ones
loved ones. Oh yeah,
and
this
stuff like
pandemic's been
that.
crazy.
Yeah. Look, I want
Crazy.
6 feet right now.
Listen,
Let
don't
me
even
get
try.
6.
No talk show hosts were harmed in the taping of this
No, thank you,
episode.
Lord. Thank you.
We both have our negative COVID
Yes.
tests. We will just
Yes.
let all the viewers know.
Yes.
So we appreciate you guys watching. Bye.
Bye-bye.